Hello and welcome to another tutorial for USOR Games. This is another tutorial in the series of character sheet tutorials. This is part 2 of the tutorial for the basic starting combat focused character sheet, and in our last video we filled out the basic information, we filled out the attributes, we filled out the social traits. We still have 5,300 in character points left, and at this point we're going to go ahead and go down and cover weapon skills and abilities and all that kind of stuff. Now, you'll notice that there are a lot of options down here, and it can look overwhelming, but most of this stuff is not going to apply to our character, and you can't get too greedy when you're creating a beginning level character. Really all you want is probably 1 or 2 weapon skills, a couple of armor skills, and that saves you some character points to get some combat abilities, and that's about it. And as you play the game more, you'll get more character points, and then you'll be able to get more abilities and skills and whatnot. But if you play it conservative like I'm doing here, you'll find you still have quite a few character points to spend on some special abilities and start your character off kind of fun. So we'll go over that right now. First of all, let's just cover what were some of the things that I would say are essential to a starting combat character. Of course, we want weapon skills. General skills, that's good for every character, but since we're starting off and I really want to make my guy pretty good at fighting at the beginning, we're going to skip general skills. So you can just click this button here and downsize it. My secondary focus is skill, and I can get espionage skills with that, but again, that's my secondary focus. I'm starting off, so I'm going to hide that. Can't use magic skills. We want armor skills. We don't have any magic items yet, so why get those skills yet? We can skip those. What we want is weapon abilities. We can skip espionage abilities. We're not going to get those yet. We can't even get faith abilities. Downsize those. We can't get magic. Downsize that. We don't need the magic stats. So already you can see we've shrunk our character sheet down considerably and made it a lot easier for us to kind of tailor the character sheet to what we want for our character. So we've got the big 3 essentially for the combat focused character, which is weapon skills, armor skills, and then weapon abilities. Once we assign those, we might have a few character points left to play with, but we'll see. So, weapon skills. Of course, if you're going to fight in combat, you probably would want to have a weapon skill. I always go with the traditional sword. That's always good to have. Good average skill rating to start with, if you want to be at least halfway proficient in it, is probably somewhere around 15. There's no hard and fast rule behind it. But since we want to be really good at combat, I think we would probably want to go with 18 on sword. And you can see the character point cost there. So we still have about 4,400 left. And in this game, if you want to wear a certain kind of armor, you have to have the skill for it. I know a lot of role-playing games don't do that, but in ours we do that, and there's a reason for that. It's to kind of to balance out how character points are spent and kind of balancing out character power. So in this one, we'll probably save the shield for later because that's going to be fairly expensive. Let's go ahead and give him heavy armor skill, and that costs 1,200 alone, so that's cost us a lot, but again, we still have 3,200 left. And we've already gotten our weapon skill, we've gotten our armor skill. That leaves us with weapon abilities. So this is for stuff like parry, critical strike, disarm, weapon throw. We're going to add more in later, but this will really make you that much better in fighting. And in order to get the weapon abilities, you first have to have the corresponding skill. So we already have sword skill, and if we want to get all these abilities for sword, we have to select sword abilities. So let's go ahead and select that now. We've got our cost there, 500, and we still have 2,700 left. That's still plenty. That's awesome. Let's go ahead and let's get ourselves critical strike. Give it like a 6. You can see the character point cost there. So now we have a 6 rating on critical strike. These two things here, Nost and weapon throw range, that you don't put in for character sheet development. That's only while you're playing the game. So if you strike an opponent and you get a Nost rating of 2 to 5, you can punch that in, and then you get to see what the critical strike does. So for instance, let's say I rolled a dice roll and I got a Nost of 2, so I punch that in, and we get a damage bonus of 20 to our strike, which is really, really useful. So that's how that's used, and you can always just punch in another number in each time you roll it. But anyway, again, you don't need that for character creation. This is really what you need for character creation, is the rating. So we've given ourselves a rating 6, And that's pretty much all we need in terms of skills and abilities and attributes. Let's see, we still have a lot of attributes left. Or sorry, not attributes, character points left. So we can go, at this point, I would recommend, if you're creating a starting character, you really want to spend all these character points. There's really no reason to save any of them at this point. You want to get yourself, make yourself as non-vulnerable as possible, because it's a harsh gaming world and you don't want to lose your character right away. So given that we have so many points left, let's go ahead and spend them. Let's bump up our endurance to 30. And we still have another 1,300. Let's increase our luck to 25. And see, the great thing about this is you can always go back up to any section while you're creating the character and just bump up and just play around with the numbers till you get them right, till you get your character points down to nothing basically, and get it just right, and then you can create it. So I want to give myself an even better sword skill. Let's go with 20. What does that leave us? 640. Okay, cool. I think we can make ourselves a little smarter. Let's try that. 487. You know what? I'm going to bump my critical strike up even more. So let's try that. It's 239. All right, we're getting closer. That's awesome. Let's try strength of 29. Oh, we're at negative 11. Okay, well, we're going to have to do strength of 28 then. So there. Okay, and that was roughly about 200 character points cost for that. So let's just say I want to bump my, let's say I want to bump up my strength score to 29. So I'll just punch in here strength 29, and then it was about, I think 200 points was what I needed. No, I think it was 300 points. You would probably want to put the exact amount in here, but for the sake of this tutorial to keep it moving, I'll just put a rough estimate. But that means whenever I get 300 character points, I can bump my strength up to 29, and then I can punch in the next purchase so I can help keep track of what I want to do next for the character. And that's it for spending the character points. Now the next thing you need to do in the game before you finish creating the characters, of course, purchase equipment. So you've got the big three: weapons, armor, and then just general gear. We probably want to give ourselves a long sword since we have the skill sword. Let's say we want to buy one of those. All the stats fill in for you. You can see how much regal, that's the currency in the game, you've lost doing that. You've got your weight capacity remaining, how much more weight you can carry. And let's see, we want, since we got heavy armor, we want to get plate mail. So we'll get that. We'll buy a plate helmet. We'll say yes to wearing it. So we have one of each. We've said yes to wearing it, and then it punches in all of the stats you need for the game. And then, let's see, how much money do we have left? 80 bucks. Well, we don't have much left, but that leaves us with some money to get, let's see, let's get a couple of torches, get a rope, get a backpack. 17 bucks. All right, that's good. We can live with 17 bucks. So we start the game with 17 bucks. And we've got all of our basic stats. We're a pretty well-rounded character. I think that's a good start. So I'll go ahead and hit create character. And let's see. Okay, I see. So what happened was I bumped up the attributes, and it's not letting me create because we now have a difference in social points. So let's go ahead and punch in one for wealth. There, we get 1,000 extra bucks. That's always good. And then let's go ahead and create the character. All right, and there's our guy right there. And that should be it. So I hope to see you in the next character sheet creation. That will be for a skill-focused character. And then we'll go over magic and then faith. So I hope to see you in the next video. And happy gaming.